Hello, everyone. Welcome to my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2021 video. Last week, I recorded my top 10 favorite movies of 2020 video, and I want to say thank you guys so much for watching that video. As of today, that video has over 800 views, which is absolutely insane. I've never gotten a video with that many views before. That's my most viewed video on my channel by a landslide. Thank you guys so much for watching it. I am very humbled. I'm very happy with the amount of views it has. And I'll be sharing that video in the link down below in the description box. Anyway, we're going to talk about the movies that are supposed to come out this year that I am personally very excited for. Now, before I go on and talk about my top 10 most anticipated movies of this year, there's one movie I want to mention really quick. And that movie is Killers of the Flower Moon. Now, for those of you who don't know what that movie is, that movie stars Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro, and it's directed by Martin Scorsese. The movie takes place in the 1920s. It's about an FBI investigation involving J. Edgar Hoover regarding the mysterious murder of members of the Osage tribe. And yeah, look, with the cast, the director, and the story, this has the makings of a modern classic. Why is this movie not on my list? To be honest, I have a strong feeling this movie will not be released this year, despite the fact that they've announced that it'll be released sometime in 2021. From my understanding, this movie hasn't even started filming yet. With everything going on with the pandemic and the cases rising and just so much uncertainty of the future, it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if they announced later in the year that this movie will actually go to 2022, because Martin Scorsese makes a lot of long movies. This movie will probably be very long. And he's known for taking his time and perfecting the film, which I'm fine with. If I have to wait until 2022 to see the movie and for it to be as good as it can, I'm more than willing to wait. But hopefully it comes out this year. If it does, I'll be very happy. But it's not on my list because of those reasons. But Killers of the Flower Moon is one that is on my radar, and I'm excited for whenever it comes out. But it's not on my list. All right, so with that being said, let's start the countdown to my personal top 10 most anticipated movies of 2021. Number 10. My number 10 most anticipated movie of 2021 is The Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad is supposed to be released on August 6, 2021. So there is actually not a plot synopsis yet, but in late August of 2020, Warner Brothers decided to drop a 2-minute video that regards behind the scenes footage and a sneak peek of the film. And I have to tell you, that video made me so excited. Now, for those of you who know me personally, you know that the 2016 movie Suicide Squad was one movie I was very excited for, and personally, it just disappointed me. I know there are people who like that movie, but I was just very disappointed by it. But I'm really excited for this, and I'll tell you why. Number one, James Gunn is directing this movie. He's a director of the Guardians of the Galaxy films, and I'm so excited to see his version of this adaptation of the comics. Second of all, the cast is absolutely astounding. So many people are going to be in this movie. You have Margaret Robbie, you have Viola Davis, you have Joel Kinnaman, I think that's his name. You have John Cena, you have Pete Davidson, you have Sylvester Stallone. You have so many people in this film and playing new characters that were not in the first film. It's interesting because James Gunn said this movie is not a sequel or it's not a reboot. It's what it is. From that statement, I interpret it as in they're completely ignoring the 2016 movie and that this is its own thing, which is awesome. This movie looks like a gritty 1970s war movie, but combined with James Gunn humor and the great characters he always comes up with in his films. I'm really excited for this movie. It's supposed to be rated R. Oh, and Idris Elba is also in this movie. He's a great actor. I am very excited for this. It looks like a blast, and I hope it delivers. Number 9. My number 9 is the untitled SpiderMan sequel. So there is officially no title for this Spider-Man sequel yet. I imagine that's going to be announced sometime later in the year. Anyway, that movie is supposed to be coming out on December 17th. So this movie also has no plot synopsis, but if you follow the news for this film, it seems very likely that this is the live-action Spider-Verse movie that we've all wanted to see for years to come. What does that mean? Well, you have Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, this current Spider-Man, and the villains for all 3 movies all in one film. It's like a live-action movie of the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse film that came out in 2018. Now, look, this obviously sounds so cool. You have great actors returning. You have Alfred Molina, who is confirmed to come back. You have J.K. Simmons. You have Jamie Foxx coming back as Electro, possibly Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin, and just a bunch of great actors reprising their roles. This sounds really cool. This sounds admittedly very fan servicey, but I don't care. I mean, who the hell wouldn't be excited for this anyway? Why is this only number 9? Well, honestly, even though I'm very excited for the movie, I do have the small reservation because I realize that this very easily could be a mess. And the director of this movie, he directed Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home. This movie's supposed to be the third movie in that trilogy, and I've really enjoyed the other two. So I do have some faith in the director and balancing all of the arcs and telling a compelling story. But you know, I'm keeping my expectations a little in check despite being very excited, if that makes any sense. I know a lot of people are so hyped, probably has this as like their number 1 and number 2 most anticipated. I'm still very excited regardless. I hope it comes out this year on December 17th because this movie is going to be it's going to be monumental. It's going to be memorable. Even if it sucks, I'm sure it's going to be a movie people are going to remember and going to tell their future children or future friends that they got the chance to see this movie in theaters because this seems like the ultimate theatrical experience that we need. So the untitled Spider-Man sequel, or whatever it's going to be called eventually, is my number 9. Number 8. My number 8 is Mission Impossible 7. So this movie is supposed to be coming out on November 19th. There is also no plot synopsis for this movie. I'm sorry, guys. It's the third time I said this, and yeah. But look, the Mission Impossible series, along with the Fast and Furious series, they're the most. These are the 2 action series that are still going on and somehow are still being consistent. For me, the Mission Impossible series is way better than the Fast and Furious ones because the Mission Impossible movies, for me, the plots are better. I like the acting more. They resonate with me more, and I just remember them more in general. But in any case, besides the second movie of the Mission Impossible series, I pretty much either really liked or loved all of them, especially Mission Impossible Fallout, which is one of my favorite action movies in recent years. And Tom Cruise is known for just going out of his way to do these crazy stunts, and we all just enjoy it as viewers. And I can't imagine what he has on his sleeve because every time it seems like he just he surprises us. Because every time we think that we've already seen his maximum capacity, it seems like he just surprises us. And I can't wait to see what this movie is going to be about. And you have Ving Rhames coming back, and yeah, this just looks. Well, I can't say it looks because there's no trailer or posters, but Mission Impossible movie, as long as they keep making them and making them great, I'm all for it. They have supposedly filmed 7 and 8 back to back, so 8's supposed to come out next year. I really hope 7 comes out this year, man. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be awesome, and I can't wait to see it in IMAX. So that's my number 8. Number 7. My number 7 is Judas and the Black Messiah. So this movie is supposed to be coming out on February 12th, simultaneously HBO Max and in theaters. So this does have a plot synopsis. So this is a story of Fred Hampton, who is the leader of the Illinois Black Panther Party, and his betrayal from FBI informant. The trailer for this movie is so awesome. I remember watching the trailer for the first time in the theater, and I was so blown away because it was edited in such a way that really made me want to see the movie right away. You have Daniel Kaluuya, Jesse Plemons, Lakeith Stanfield, and Michael Sheen. You have a great cast here, and I'm hearing Daniel Kaluuya is absolutely amazing here. He's impressed me over the years so much because he's a great actor, but I'm hearing this is his best performance, and he's the one who actually plays Fred Hampton. And yesterday, some critics saw the film early and have massively praised it. I'm just so excited for this. From what it seems like there are shades of The Departed and just a really gritty film. This is from director Shaka King. Now, Shaka King is a director I'm not familiar with. I haven't seen any of his other work, but regardless, this looks awesome. And the trailer itself is just so powerful. I hope that this movie, it enlightens me because I'm not very familiar with Fred Hampton at all or his story. And I hope this movie just impresses me on a cinematic level, which it looks like it will. I'll be seeing this movie in theaters because I will always support the theatrical experience no matter what. But I am excited for this movie. I know I said that already, but damn, it looks awesome. Judas and the Black Messiah is my number 7. It comes out on February 12th. Okay, number 6. My number 6 is 9 Days. 9 Days is supposed to be coming out in the summer. There's no official release date yet. Sony Entertainment said it's supposed to come out summer 2021, where they hope that more theaters will be open and more people will be comfortable to go and watch this movie because they think this film is supposed to be seen only in the theaters. In any case, this movie is about a man. He conducts a series of interviews with human souls so they can have a chance to be born. It's a fascinating premise. Now, this movie first premiered last year at Sundance and received massive praise. And it was supposed to come out December. I remember in like the last week in November, I was very excited for 9 Days to see it the next month. And then out of nowhere, like the first week of December or so, Sony Entertainment just announced like a couple of films being delayed, this movie being one of them. And yeah, when I was so close to seeing it, it was delayed. Why am I excited for this movie? Well, honestly, it's for a couple of reasons. Number one, when I heard about it in Sundance, heard all the praise and Winston Duke being great in it, it made me that much excited. And watching the trailer, it made me more excited than I was before because the trailer was great. And I just think the story sounds so fascinating. What I gather from the plot synopsis is that it seems like one of those movies that it's going to be an experience for everybody individually. Like it's one of those movies where if you talk to another person, it might hit them in a different way than it might hit you. It's like one of those films, kind of like Soul, which is interesting because I heard this is actually a great companion piece to Soul. And if you watch my video of the top 10 best movies of 2020, you know that movie's on my list and how much I love that film. So hearing that this movie explores similar themes to Soul makes me that much more excited. And this film also has a great cast, and I'm excited to see it. I hope it comes out June or something. You know, the sooner the better because I really want to see this film. And yeah, 9 Days is my number 6. All right, number 5. My number 5 is A Quiet Place Part 2. A Quiet Place Part 2 is supposed to be released on April 23rd. Now, A Quiet Place Part 2 takes place immediately after the first one. The family is still trying to survive the apocalyptic world that they have faced, and everything is complicated because they have a baby. They have to be very quiet. They can barely talk because these creatures can hear anything. And this movie showcases that this family, they meet these different people, but it seems like these people are also add to the threat that the family is already facing with the creatures and whatnot. I love the trailer. I remember this movie was supposed to come out March 20th of last year, and a week before it got delayed because COVID-19 officially became a pandemic, and well, the world changed as we know it. In any case, I am so excited for the sequel. I love the first one. I saw the first one in theaters, and it's such a creative and innovative horror film that really stuck with me. And when I first heard of an announcement of the sequel, I didn't know how to feel because I would have been fine with it just being one movie, but John Krasinski is coming back to direct, and the cast, Emily Blunt, you have Cillian Murphy, Djimon Hounsou, you have the kids from the first one back in this one, and the trailer, like I said, it was just awesome, and I got the opportunity to read some reviews from people who went to the New York premiere, because it did have its New York premiere last year, and a lot of people praised it, some saying that it's better than the first one, and saying how the kids really shined in it. So I'm just so excited. I know 2021 is going to have a lot of horror sequels and reboots such as Halloween Kills and Candyman. And I'm excited for those, don't get me wrong. But for me, the one I'm excited for the most, A Quiet Place Part 2. Number 4. My number 4 is No Time to Die. No Time to Die will be coming out on April 2nd. No Time to Die is supposed to be the last James Bond movie from Daniel Craig. So No Time to Die, the plot is pretty simple. James Bond, he's basically retired. He's done with the life. But an old friend of his tells him that he needs to come back because this threat is coming. And James Bond, you know, he comes back and he realizes that the threat he faces is something he didn't realize he was prepared for. Trailers have been so awesome. And it looks like they're going all out for this one. And they should be because it's supposed to be the last movie that Daniel Craig is supposed to be in. In any case, Rami Malek is playing the villain, and he looks so frightening in here. He's a talented actor. He's very talented, and it looks like he's just going to kill it here. Um, yeah, this movie looks like it's going to have great action set pieces, and the IMAX experience looks like it's going to be very worthwhile. I'm so excited for this movie. Yeah, I've loved Casino Royale and Skyfall. I think those two movies are some of the best action movies to come out in the 2000s. So I guess the 21st century. And yeah, I can't wait to see it. It looks so exciting. And from what I read, they might delay it from April to the fall. It is what it is, I guess. But I'm excited regardless. My number 3 is The Many Saints of Newark. So The Many Saints of Newark is coming out on March 12th. So for those of you who don't know what this movie is a prequel to The Sopranos. The Sopranos is known as one of the greatest and most influential television shows of all time. Me personally, it's my second favorite show of all time behind Breaking Bad. The Sopranos is such a masterpiece of a show. I mean, it's a show I can't get enough of, and it's a show that really has earned all its hype and praise it's gained over the past couple of decades. I'm so hyped to revisit this world again and be able to see a young Tony Soprano and focus on characters that were constantly mentioned in the show, but we barely got to see or didn't see at all. So for example, Tony Soprano's father, they showed some scenes with him, but you don't really see him at all because he's already dead. So it's great to see that he's going to be playing a big role, hopefully. And Dickie Moltisanti, and if you watch the show, you know who that character is. He's constantly referenced in that show, but you barely, well, actually, you don't see him at all. So he's going to be playing a big role here too. And above all, just apart from the fact that you're going to see, great actors playing these roles and characters that you haven't seen in the show before, what makes it so interesting is the fact that this movie takes place in the 1960s. It's going to focus on the riots, the Newark riots, with the African Americans and the Italians. Yeah, it's coming out less than 2 months from now, and there's no trailer yet, which I find interesting. I hope that doesn't mean they're going to delay it, but that's supposed to also be simultaneously on HBO Max and in theaters. So, like I said, I'll be watching all these movies in theaters if I can. And yeah, I mean, a prequel to The Sopranos is something I am absolutely on board for. And I hope a trailer comes out soon. So that is my number 3. My number two is Last Night in Soho. Last Night in Soho will be released on April 23rd. So it's coming out the same day as A Quiet Place Part 2, which is awesome. Well, hopefully it does. I mean, if this pandemic shit is over by then. Anyway, Last Night in Soho. So this movie is directed by Edgar Wright. Edgar Wright is a filmmaker who has made 5 films, and I've loved all of them. He's the director of Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, The World's End, and Baby Driver. Adore all those movies, and this movie is going to be different than those because this is supposed to be a straight-up horror film. And look, Edgar Wright is a director that can come out with anything, and I'll instantaneously be excited for because I love his style. But it makes me so excited to see that he's going to be tackling something different. And as I stated before, this is supposed to be a movie that's a lot more serious because all of his other movies, even Shaun of the Dead, and as much as I love that movie, it's not a straight-up horror film. Yes, it's a zombie movie. Yes, there's horrific elements, but it's also a comedy. It's still a great movie, don't get me wrong. And even something like Baby Driver, right? I mean, that's an action movie, an awesome one, but there's also comedic elements that work really well. From what I gather, there's no comedic elements in this film. But you have Anya Taylor-Joy, who has been killing it over the past couple of years. She's going to be playing the main actress. Mackenzie Davis, a very talented actress as well. And I just find the plot fascinating. The plot of this movie is a woman. She travels back in time, and she meets her idol, and basically shit goes down to fan. Like, we don't really know what happens. Other than that, because the plot synopsis is very limited, and there's no trailer yet either. But I don't care because, look, Edgar Wright is directing it. I've been so excited for this movie. It's supposed to come out last year, and it got delayed. But I think most of these movies are supposed to come out last year, and they're on my list anyway. Number 1. My number 1 most anticipated movie of 2021 is Dune. Dune is supposed to be coming out on October 1st. 2 words. Denis Villeneuve. That's it. Yo, that man has a hell of a track record when it comes to his movies, okay? He probably has the best filmography, the best record for films in the 2010s, okay? Incendie, Prisoners, Enemy, Sicario, Arrival, Blade Runner 2049, all amazing films. They all made it in my favorite 100 movies of the 2010s book that I wrote. And all are so different, yet they're masterfully executed. And he's directing this movie, a movie that is supposedly a movie that is so hard to translate from book to film. Now, I have not seen the David Lynch movie that came out in the 1980s, but I trust director Denis Villeneuve. The trailer is epic. The cast is absolutely insane. And I think, yeah, I'm almost certain this movie is going to be a masterpiece. I mean, come on. And I'm sure it's going to look beautiful. This movie is supposed to come out simultaneously on HBO Max and in theaters, but I think this movie, from what I read, they're going to fight for just a theatrical experience. And this movie looks like, I mean, if there's one movie to see in theaters from all of these, it looks like it's going to be this one. It just looks like Game of Thrones in space. This movie is based off a book that is basically responsible for all the science fiction films and books that we love. Star Wars, a big reason why Star Wars is a thing is because of Dune. And not many people know that. All I can say to you guys is that this was my second most anticipated movie of last year. It was supposed to come out in December, but most movies last year were delayed to 2021. And this is supposed to be part one of the book, because Denis Villeneuve was planning on making Dune and then Dune 2, which is supposed to be on the second half of the book. So this Dune movie is supposed to be on the first half of the book. So I'm imploring people to please go see this movie, because I want to see both parts. I don't want this movie to be a financial bomb and we never get to see part two. Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, Bautista, Rebecca Ferguson, Javier Bardem. The list goes on with how many great people are in this film. Dune is my number one. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be epic, guys. I know it. Okay, guys. Thank you guys for watching my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2021 video. Hope you guys enjoyed the list. Let me know what movie you guys are excited for the most this year. Drop your top 10. If you made a top 20, top 25, top 50, top 100, go ahead, share it. Let me know. Or name some movies that are on my list that you don't agree with, or some movies you're surprised didn't make my list. You know, go ahead with the comment section. Like I said, my top 10 favorite movies of 2020 video is, it's already uploaded. I uploaded it last week, and the link is in the description box below. So if you want to share that, go ahead. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time very soon with another video. All right. Take care, guys.